Hey guys, I had two book reviews I wanted to do for you today. The first is The Ghost of Crutchfield Hall by Mary Downing Hahn. And this is from the juvenile section. I found it while playing with in the kids section with the girl I nanny for, but it looked interesting and it's short, so I figured I'd give it a shot. And it is a ghost story, and it's about a girl named Florence who's an orphan and lives in an orphanage, and she finds out that she has a great uncle still alive who has contacted the orphanage and wants to take her in. So she travels there and meets her uncle, who seems like a really great guy and is really happy to have her there. But then she also meets an aunt that just hates her and doesn't want her there, doesn't want to invite her in, anything. And she finds out why. She finds out that she also has a cousin named James, and he's sickly, and she doesn't get to meet him for a while, and he always stays in his room. And then she finds out that he had a sister named Sophia, who had died about a year previous, and the aunt had just loved Sophia, and she was her favorite, and so that's why she thinks Florence is there to take Sophia's place, which is not true, but... And so, as the name suggests, the ghost of Crutchfield Hall, they start seeing ghosts. Well, Florence does, and she finds out that a few other people in the house also see ghosts, or a ghost, and they think it's Sophia. So then the rest of the story just kind of follows that and what the ghost is doing with them and to them and getting them involved in all kind of problems and how they resolve that. And I thought it was a really good book. I liked it a lot because the setting being the 1800s England with the mansion and the staff and the horse-drawn carriages is kind of a type of book that I like in the adult books, plus the ghost story. So you kind of combine it all, and it was good. I liked it. It kind of reminded me of a combination of The Secret Garden with the house and then the sick cousin and the girl like running around all by herself, and then some of like The 13th Tale and Rebecca, and just a combination of a lot of the things that I really like. So like I said, it's a younger kids book. It's 153 pages, I think. I don't know if I mentioned that before. But so it's a quick read. It only took me one day, a couple hours. And I didn't like the end. It's not that the end was bad. It just didn't end the way I wanted it to. So I'm always kind of conflicted. Like, I probably don't want everything to end the way I want all the time because it's good to be surprised, but I want it to end my way. But yes, this one I actually did enjoy. So if you're looking for a quick read, don't mind reading a younger kid's book, I do recommend this one. The second book I read is Escape, The Story of the Great Houdini by Fleischman. And this was pretty good. I found out that it was just in the autobiography section and not the juvenile section or young adult, whichever. So I didn't know that it was written for a younger audience, but it was a J for juvenile, I guess. So it was written for a younger audience, which is probably why I didn't like parts of how it was written. Because the author would kind of like throw in his opinion on stuff. Like when they would talk about what Houdini had done, and the author would say like, oh, he must have felt this, or he must have thought that. And I just thought it was taking kind of liberties with it. But if it's for kids, then I kind of understand. But aside from the way it was written, the information is really interesting. I really didn't know a whole lot about Houdini in the first place, besides the fact that he was a magician in the 1940s-ish era. But just hearing the struggle he had to get famous and how convinced he was that he was going to be famous is inspiring. Like, he never threw away anything that had his name on it, any pictures, because he knew he was going to be famous and he was going to be able to use this stuff to carry on his legacy. And he worked really hard on his tricks and his act, and he started a magician's magazine. He wrote some books. Like, he just worked nonstop. Even once he had made it and was like, rich. And the amount of money he made, like, he was making like $1,500 to like $3,000 a week in the 1940s. Like, I don't make that now. A lot of people don't make that now. And if you would like figure out what that would be in today's money, it's ridiculous. But I mean, he deserved it. Like, some of his tricks, like how he'd be suspended upside down from, multiple story buildings in a straitjacket, and how he'd jump into rivers, manacled and in boxes and stuff, like, it was crazy. So he deserved whatever he made, if you ask me. But I did enjoy it. It was a quick read. It was really interesting. I might read more about him. There was one book referenced in the back about the psychological like profile of Houdini that someone wrote, And since I was a psych major, I like all that kind of stuff. That sounded really interesting, so I might have to go pick that up if I can find it. But if you have any interest in magicians or just biographies and a quick read, because it's a younger kid's book, this one was pretty good. Escape. So I would be interested in if anyone else has read anything on Houdini or knows anything interesting about him. Like, I just think he's cool. I'm kind of a fan now. And I think that's all I have today. So if you read any of these, if you want to read them, leave me comments. I'd love to hear. Bye.